Hey, what's up, everyone? In this video, I'm going to talk about a timeline for starting a private practice. You might know that it will take weeks to months to start a private practice and get it to flourish, but what should you do in those first 8 weeks? My name is Bruce Bassi, and I'm an addiction psychiatrist in outpatient private practice. I love what I do, and I want other people to start a private practice. I think when there are more private practices out there, the system as a whole is strengthened. So let's jump right in. In week one, you're going to want to find a lawyer, choose a name. That can be a process where a lawyer guides you into choosing a name that is most appropriate for you and your situation. Then you're going to want to submit articles of incorporation or organization, and the lawyer can help with that too. You're going to need to obtain a registered agent. Often a lawyer office can serve as the registered agent. You just have to find one who has that feature. And since you're submitting all this documentation, you also have to choose an address, choose a phone system, and choose an email system, because your phone number and your email are going to be on all the paperwork that you submit. I have more videos on how to choose a phone system and choose an email system and choose an EHR system. Week one is assuming that you already have licensure and licensure in the state that you're going to be practicing in. And since this part takes a while, I would also suggest doing it in week one, and that's starting to reach out to professional graphic designers to start on logos and start reviewing drafts. In week two, you're going to create a template of a website and start reviewing that template and making sure that you like that website. It's going to be very hard to change in the future. So that means you're going to have to choose a very fast host system, because that's going to help you immensely with SEO. Since you already submitted to the Secretary of State, you're going to obtain an EIN number or a TIN number. Then you're going to also obtain an NPI number. Since we want to get our insurance paneling out as quickly as possible, since it does take a number of months, you have to set up CAQH, and that's the first step in getting paneled. I would also create a Google My Business profile, since that's going to go on your website, and then obtain professional portraits, since those are going to go on your website. And that's going to lead us into week three, which is finalizing content to the website. You can always add more material later on. This week, another big one is that you're going to demo EHR systems. This can take a while. It can be very overwhelming, so it's going to be a big chunk of week three. I would also suggest that you organize your professional network, since they could potentially send you patients in the future and they want to know that you have a practice open if they trust you. Now we're in week four. Obtain a business bank account. Some of them give you a credit for opening a business checking account. You're going to need to find a bookkeeper. If you delay finding a bookkeeper, they'll most likely charge you a catch-up fee anyway. While you're looking, you could also start thinking about an accountant, but you don't need an accountant just yet. You're also going to need malpractice insurance, and you can get that started and start talking to other people about who they use for their malpractice insurance. I would also suggest starting to develop your consent forms for patients and using a template of what other people have used and then modify them to your needs. You can also start putting your intake forms in your EHR system. If you want to use Charm, let me know. I am a registered authorized reseller of the Charm EHR system. And while you have free time in week four, add more content to your website, such as what you treat, what your background is, and a couple of blog posts. In week five, you're going to finish up a lot of the setup of your EHR system, such as your quick text, e-prescribing, scheduling, claim submission, and your clearinghouse that you need to have. That is a lot of work there, and you're also going to be waiting for insurance to come back. They might ask you some clarifying questions. In week six, you're going to sign up for a payroll system if you're an S-Corp. If you don't know what that is, then talk to an accountant. You also want to start reaching out to your professional network and developing your website more. In week seven, you're going to decide on a billing service and which one you're going to use. You're also going to want to run through a telehealth checklist to make sure that you're not missing anything. I have a checklist on my website if you're interested. You're also going to want to write down and put in your calendar any dates needed for quarterly taxes, an annual report, and an annual meeting to stay in compliance as a business entity. Finally, in week eight, you can start seeing patients, continue to build your SEO, network as much as possible, and develop a reputation management strategy. So that way you can showcase all of your strengths to new incoming patients. If you don't showcase your strengths, people don't know what you have to offer, and you're most likely not reaching your potential with new patients. I hope this video was helpful to give you an 8-week timeline for what to do to start preparing before you see patients. There's a lot here, and maybe it's going to differ a little bit for you, but this is a general gist of what you need to do in the first 8 weeks. If you're interested, I have a course on how to prepare you for starting a private practice. Take a look at my website, or you can subscribe to this channel and I'll keep pushing out more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Bruce Bassi, and I'm a psychiatrist in private practice, and I love to make educational videos to encourage other people to start a private practice like I did.